Friday, June 13th. Overnight attacks. This morning, Iran is retaliating after Israel hits Iran's nuclear sites, killing top officials and scientists. This morning, Israel is under a state of emergency. The search for answers in the deadly Air India crash, what we now know about the Canadian killed and the one passenger who survived.
We'll continue to put that pressure on them.
A major bust. Quebec police say they have landed a blow against organized crime with the arrest of the alleged head of the Montreal mafia.
Cross-ice pass. Right side towards the net. Score!
Storming back, the Stanley Cup final is now tied at 2 games apiece after a major comeback by the Oilers. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. Happy Friday.
We begin this Friday with breaking news this morning from Israel. Several media outlets reporting the military has intercepted about 100 drones fired from Iran. This is in response to Israeli attacks targeting Iran's nuclear sites, military personnel, and scientists. Israel declaring a state of emergency and put its forces on high alert this morning. You could hear those sirens. Here's a live look at Jerusalem this morning. So Israel and the U.S., they're saying we're going to pay a heavy price for the strikes. The UN nuclear watchdog is confirming Israeli attacks were targeting an Iranian uranium enrichment site. The UN stating there is no increase in radiation in the area. In Iran, media reports say civilians were also hit in Israel's attacks, and children are among those killed. Iran also accusing the U.S. of supporting Israel's attack, which the U.S., by the way, strongly denies. The U.S. and Iran were supposed to hold nuclear talks in Oman on Sunday.
We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying the attacks were part of what they call Operation Rising Lion, overnight hitting Iranian nuclear sites. He also says Iranian Revolutionary Guard Chief Hossein Salami has been killed. Iranian state TV also confirming General Mohammad Bagheri, the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces, was also killed. Iran also claiming 6 nuclear scientists have been killed as well. In other news, an Air India flight was forced to make an emergency landing in Thailand this morning. Why? Well, the flight was on its way from Phuket to New Delhi when it was forced to turn around because of a bomb threat. More than 150 passengers were escorted off the plane. This is, of course, security protocol. This happened as investigators and grieving families are searching for answers after the crash in Western India. Investigators are still looking for the plane's 2 black boxes as victims' families wait for news about their loved ones. Video of the flight, it's just devastating to watch. It shows the plane there descending shortly after takeoff before crashing into a residential neighborhood. Reports say at least 8 people on the ground were killed. There were 242 passengers and crew on board that flight. It is believed every one of them died except for one passenger who was seated in 11A. This is incredible, actually incredible. And there he is. The survivor, Vishwas Ramesh from the UK, walked away from the crash. Unbelievable. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Ramesh this morning. Ramesh was sitting by the plane's emergency exit. That was his row. And he actually told one of his brothers on the phone he has no idea how he survived. We're also learning more about the Canadian on that flight.
We heard that there is one Canadian in there, then the list came out, and then the family started calling, and I got a call also earlier in the morning that we have Nirali on that plane.
Dr. Nirali Patel was a dentist. She was married. She had a 1-year-old son. She's from Toronto. A family friend said she was on her way back home after a quick visit to India. Patel's family left for India soon after news of the crash. Government officials are now warning the 2025 wildfire season is on pace to be Canada's second worst on record.
Wildfire risk across most of Western and Northern Canada is expected to be elevated over the coming months.
Environment Canada says this summer, we were talking about this, it's going to be warmer than normal across the country. We're expecting less rain across the west. Government modeling says southern BC is facing the highest risk of fire as we get deeper into the summer months. The Northwest Territories and Yukon are also facing an increased risk of fire. This year's fire season has already seen 3.7 million hectares burn so far.
I'm still in the process of processing, if that makes sense.
Flames tore through the Robertson Trading Post in L'Orange last week. About 7,000 people are now heading home in northern Saskatchewan to assess the damage. Power and utilities are up and running in the area again. Full healthcare services will be available at some point over the next couple of days. Schools will also be open next week. A break in the weather, by the way, in Squamish is letting fire officials get more aggressive with an out-of-control fire that tripled in size since Monday. So flames has come as close as 100 meters to people's homes, while people camping at Alice Lake Provincial Park have been told to leave because of these intense smoky conditions. The RCMP investigating the cause of the fire and are calling on the public to come forward with any information. All right. In other news, the alleged head of the Montreal mafia has been arrested in a major bust by police in Quebec.
If you do murders, they will find you. If you do fraud, we'll work on you.
Leonardo Rizzuto, one of the 11 people arrested, by the way, as part of this operation. It was called Project Alliance. Police say this was a major operation targeting the Montreal mafia, Hells Angels, and some other gangs as well. The 11 suspects are arrested, facing now first-degree murder charges. Police are still looking for 5 more people, 5 more suspects. Leonardo Rizzuto is believed to have taken over as head of the Rizzuto family after his father Vito's death in 2013. Music students in Regina are making some noise over proposed changes to the elementary band program. They turned out with their instruments to protest changes they say could cause a decline in the quality of the program. The Regina Band Parent Leadership Team is also asking the school division for more time to engage with a music consultant to find a solution for funding for the program. The Regina Public School Board of Trustees says it takes parents' feedback very seriously. That's good. No protest. Stanley Cup final is now evened up at 2.
Cross-ice pass. Right side towards the net. Score!
What? I mean, it wasn't looking good for the Oilers, right? This is when I went to bed after they fell behind 3-0 at the end of the first. Then came the comeback. Edmonton, never count this team out. They managed to tie it up, take the lead. Panthers forcing overtime with a last-minute goal. And then in OT, Florida came within inches of the win. Sam Bennett hit the crossbar. But not long after that, Leon Draisaitl putting it away. Game winner. The Oilers win 5-4. Look at that. So good. Fans have today to recover. Game 5, though, tomorrow in Edmonton.